So what are koans? Where does that fall into Zen training? Into this question of what is Zen? I can't think of another part of Zen which perhaps has more misunderstanding surrounding it, which has been talked about more by people who should talk about less than the subject of koans and koan training. It's so incredibly misunderstood. Many people seem to think that it's some sort of philosophical exercise, which it is not. A common one is that it's a riddle system, that you sit around trying to find the answer to a riddle. And you will often see associated with the word koan, if you do a search on Google or something like that, you Google koans on Google, and I'm sure you're going to see the phrase Zen riddles at some point, which is about as wrong as it gets. A riddle implies an answer. It implies the importance of an answer. And a koan is really about understanding the question. The first koan, Genjo koan, is who is this? What is this? And it's a question that you don't delve into for an answer, because that's the work of the rest of your life. It's a question that you delve into to understand the question. Yeah? And all the other koans are looking at this question, and there are ways to look to angles on it, if you like, for you to examine that question and clarify your understanding. What you're actually doing is you're not coming to the Sanzen room during when you come to see a Zen teacher to give him an answer that somehow absolutely finishes the whole thing. That's a very big misunderstanding. What you're actually doing is you're coming to the Sanzen room to show your present understanding of the question. And that's a difference. It's an important difference. Just like, and I often use this paradigm because we have many scientists, and Zen seems to, for some reason, attract scientists and school teachers for some reason. But, koans are really like scientific questions. The scientific questions are not about answers. A good scientist knows that his answer is, presently ever subject to context, to re-examination, to ongoing re-examination, to the possibility of being disproven in the future and replaced by another paradigm, etc. A scientific question is really a paradigm. And so is a koan. It's really an examination of the current paradigm of how are you walking in the world. Yeah? And that is the long life work that you have ahead of you. You can get your education, you can get your job, you can get promoted, you can raise a family if you wish to, and eventually they grow up and move out, you retire, etc. But the long, so you can hit all those targets, all those goals in your life, but the long work in your life that is never finished, that is Genjo koan. Yeah? That is what the Zen koan is about. So yeah, that is, so the purpose and the relationship between a Zen teacher or Zen master and disciple, if you like, is not that the disciple gets something from the teacher, some wisdom that's his passes downward. It's that he climbs upward. Zen is about rising. It's always about rising. We use there's the story of the carp, Koan, who swims up the river, up the waterfall. And if he reaches the waterfall, he turns into the top of the waterfall, he turns into a dragon. This is Zen. And koans are like Zazen, part of the vehicle of examination, examining yourself, examining your clarity at the moment, your clarity of life, and whether it's all matching up correctly. Very, very important that it all matches up correctly. The Indian ancestor Nagarjuna, he said, it's the apple, in order to be an apple and not a facsimile of an apple, a reproduction of an apple, must not only look like an apple, feel like an apple, it must function like an apple. You can make a plastic or wax, or you can make an image of an apple and it looks very good, but it's not actually an apple. That is, that when you bite into it, it doesn't taste like one, and it doesn't nourish you the same. Even if it's nourishing, it's still not an apple. I mean, you could make I suppose a model of an apple out of sugar icing, for example, and eat it, but it still doesn't taste like an apple, and it's still not an apple. It's a copy of an apple made in sugar icing. You see, that is always the Buddhist test, if you like, for reality. This is what Nagarjuna said was the test of reality. This is the test of how you measure your life. How are you functioning? How are you living? How are you traveling in the world? Have you changed in positive ways? Yeah? All things are change. All things are change. So that is what koans are about. Very, very misunderstood subject. And that is also, and that is the, goes to the central meaning of the teacher-disciple relationship in Zen Buddhism. Can you study a koan at home? I've had people sometimes tell me that they were working on the koan themselves, that they've been working through their koans by themselves. Well, I'm good at many things, I would like to think. I think some people have told me I'm good at many things. I can do a lot of things, but I don't think I'd like to try to build an interstellar rocket in my bedroom. I don't think I'd like to build an interstellar rocket in my garden, if I could, or anywhere else. If you're Elon Musk, you have a whole bunch of scientists that help you build a rocket. And it's only a rocket. As much as it's one of, rockets are among the most complicated things that we have ever built, along with a few things like nuclear reactors and so forth. But they're among the most complicated technologies that we've ever conceived. Would you want to build a rocket all by yourself? So why would you imagine that you could, train yourself in koans by yourself? That would entail enormous self-bias. The whole proposition of that is in self-bias. We need help with each other. We need help from people who have done things before us. That's why Elon Musk employs a bunch of rocket scientists. You can't do everything by yourself. You can do a lot of damage to yourself by yourself. But usually to do the good stuff that we do in life, usually we need help. And usually we need help from people who've been there before. Yeah? And that's why in Zen tradition we put such emphasis on seeking out teachers. And real teachers, not the girl down at the park who says she's a Zen yoga person. I mean real Zen teachers. Yeah? Very, very terribly important. If you would like to share and subscribe, that will help the channel out a great deal. And please look at the links in the description for how you can help us out further. We do need it. Consider becoming a channel member. And thank you very much.